Okay, hi everybody. Just wanted to show you a trade that I had gotten into. A lot of people do not show their losing trades, but I wanted to show you a losing trade they got into and the mistakes that I can make, mistakes anybody can make, reading a chart. I looked at this chart and I thought, hey, you know what, this is going to be a pullback for the long. I read this as and you're looking at it right now, it's 30 minutes till close. I read this as a change in momentum. You can see right down here, we've already made the low of the day. We put in several green bars to the upside. So I figured, hey, you know what, there's a change in momentum. It's going to come back, it's going to pull back, and then it's going to go north. And I've seen a lot of trades go this way. Here's what was going in my favor. I had a volatility stop flip right here. I've already come into the support zone for the Murray Math lines, and my experience tells me once I come into the support for Murray Math lines, then it tends to go back the other way and go back towards resistance. I've met my target low for the day. I've met my support, hit the support level right down here. So I figured, you know, there's no more sellers in this market, and we're going to be seeing buyers. So I figured I'd wait for the pullback here and get in. I wanted to take a really tight stop here, and the reason why I wanted to take a tight stop is because just in case the thing came back against me, I didn't want to lose, you know, a tremendous amount of money. So I'm looking at 4 ticks, 2 contracts, which is about $40. So you're only looking at a $40 risk here. So what would compel me to get into this trade? Number one, we've already hit the Murray Math support level down here. And number two, we're at the volatility stop here is flipped, which is basically very similar to a Kiwi trailing stop. So the stop is flipped, indicating we're going upside. I've got a clear method cyan bar here, indicating we're going to the upside. And I've got I've got several, see these little bitty pullbacks here? Well, I've got several that basically say I'm going to the upside. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to go to the upside. So I'm going to go ahead and wait for the pullback. I figured a pullback would be at that 50%, that zigzag midpoint. That would be the 50% of this guy here. Pull back to the 50% level and take off. If it didn't, if it pulled back further than that, or if it was an actual pullback to the upside to go back downside, then I wouldn't lose very much. So I've only got a $40 risk here. Well, let's look at the indicators that say that we're going to go back long. Murray Math lines and the flip volatility stop flip. The T10s turned in my favor. The 34 EMA is starting to turn in my favor. The 13 EMA is starting to turn in my favor. Okay, what are the risks to this? Oh, one other thing that we've turned up above the 5144 cloud here. Well, the downside to this is, number one, it's the end of the day. It's 30 minutes till cash market close. As you can see right up here, it's 30 minutes to cash market close. That's number one. Number two, we're still below the 89 EMA, and the 89 EMA is still trending down. So I'm looking at a little bit of confirmation here. You know, if it breaks below that 34 EMA, then it would look like a pullback to me. So again, 34 EMA is pointing up, but 89 still pointing down, starting to level out. So whenever I see these moving average, especially the 89 moving average, start to level out, 34, 89 start leveling out, after a nice strong move downside like this tells me I think it's gonna chop a little bit. So again, end of the day, gonna chop. Moving averages aren't all in agreement. So I might have a little bit of a problem. I wasn't seeing that. I was just seeing, okay, my T10s turned up, my volatility stops flipped, and my Murray Math level has, we've already hit my support level for my Murray Math level. So, you know, get into this trade and see what happens, right? So I get into the trade, and as you can see here in a second, it takes about, well, let me flip this up a little bit. There. So it'll move a little bit faster. Okay, it's coming in to fill me. Okay, now at this point, pause. I'm going to pause it right here. See, I'm starting to see a cyan candle, which basically says I'm going to start going back down. Now this could be a pullback candle, or this could be a trend continuation candle to the downside. Don't know yet, and I figure it's just a pullback candle. The cloud, you can see the 5144 EMA cloud here has turned green, which means we're going to the upside. Well, let's see what happens. And this is the risk of trading in the afternoon. Is that a pullback candle to the signifying a pullback to the upside, or is it downside? Now, as you can see, once you get a cyan candle, it'll go a couple of candles. So logically speaking, if this cyan candle fills and I get filled down here, I will almost certainly get taken out, because I'll almost certainly have a couple of candles to the downside. Every now and then it does this number. See that chop right there? That chop, and it'll pop back up, but then again it goes to the downside. Strong move, goes to the downside, goes to the downside. I've got like one good candle here to the downside. So that was a risky trade. I didn't see that, but you got to keep these things in mind when you start trading. So cyan candle, or magenta, I'm sorry, that's a magenta candle. That's a short candle. Short candle there is always the magenta. The other ones are cyan candles or go long, magentas go short. And I've explained the clear method in another video, so I'm not going to go through it here. But anyway, I'm looking at going short down here. If that candle completes, I didn't realize that was going to be a short candle there. That candle's short, man, I'm done. So it's already indicating a losing trade here, guys. Already indicating a losing trade. What I should have done is wait for that candle to form before making my decision to get into a trade, either pullback or continuation, because if that candle turns cyan, it's going to go downside, and I really need to wait until I get a cyan candle to the upside. So here we go, and I'm going to fill here in a second. It's going to pull back, blah, blah, blah. Let me speed this up a little bit to where we can see what's going on. Okay, see, I'm in. Okay, so it filled me right here at 1384.8. The reason why I picked 1384.8 as an entry is that was a zigzag midpoint of this move here. Usually what happens is that it respects the 50%, and what that means is the market will make basically a new high or new low, and it will pull back to the 50% line between these two before, if it just pulls back to here, then usually it'll go to the upside. If it pulls back further, then it will usually continue to the downside. It's not a hard and fast rule, but the market usually respects that 50% rule. So let's take a look at this. I've still got that candle. That candle still hasn't formed, but I'm in the trade. I'm in the trade, and it doesn't look like it's going to be going my way. It's almost 10 minutes to market close. So I'm looking at, okay, here we go, bam, and I just got taken out. So that candle right there, that's where I got taken out, and there was a continuation of the downside. Now, if we look at that, you'll see the continuation all the way to the downside. It'll come right back down to that support level. So I lost that trade. Why did I lose that trade? Well, you can see that T5 turned down. All my moving averages start turning down again. So it was kind of a losing trade. I should have watched it, should have waited for that cyan candle to form, because if it didn't form, if it would have gone to the upside, then that would have been a really good, that might have been a good trade to the upside. But again, I didn't wait for it, and here's what happened. So I'm glad my stop was really, I had my really tight stop here. I only lost like, 8 ticks on that deal. Really glad that stop was tight, because it would have gotten taken out anyway. Right back down to support, and here we go. The cash market close. You can see cash market close there, and then bounces back up a little bit. And I'm going to stop the chart and show you basically what it did. It came right back down to the bottom of support. So that was a really nasty losing trade. So continuation to the downside for here. So anyway, I just wanted to let you to see that. to see how easy it is to, in the heat of the moment, to misread a chart. By the way, the volatility stop, see that line? It flipped, so that was a confirmation of more downside. Anyway, I hope this was informational. I hope this was helpful to somebody out there to help them avoid the mistakes that I made today. Anyway, have a good one. I'm going to do another video on the recap of the day, showing entries and exits and things for the day. So anyway, see you guys in a few minutes.